The so-called independents, the voices of climate activists, the virtual Green Left Party founded by Simon Holmes, of course, Climate 200 and funded by them as well, they've been further exposed today. As you know, they pretend to be independents when they run the same policies, adopt the same slogans, use the same materials, follow the same strategies, get their funding from the same sources and share a financial advisor to handle donations and, at least in one case, disguise those donations. They also refuse to reveal that their purpose is to force a hung parliament and to work with the Greens and Labor to form a Labor-Greens government. So they're a fraudulent political movement because they exist to get rid of the coalition government, they exist to install a Labor-Greens government, but they won't be up front and say that to voters. Here's the so-called independent candidate for Wentworth, millionaire fashion industry figure Allegra Spender, speaking with Laura Jays today.
If it comes to a hung parliament, I think there'll be a lot of negotiation room because I think both parties really strongly want to be in power. And my commitment is to negotiate on what is important to the community of Wentworth.
What an evasion, hey? And by the way, is there a more environmentally wasteful industry than fashion? Is there an industry that uses energy and resources in a less efficient and more unnecessary way than the fashion industry? But I digress. The problem with Spender's line, and it's the same line from Zoe Daniel in Goldstein, and the line from Monique Ryan in Kooyong, and Kate Cheney in Curtin, and Zali Steggles in Warringah, the trouble about their pretense of being centrist is that Labor and the Greens obviously love and admire their work. The phony words of the so-called independents are betrayed by the political support they get from the other Green Left parties, Labor and the Greens. Just listen to Adam Bandt today.
We aren't worried about the climate independents. We welcome them. They are drawing attention to the climate inaction of Liberal and Labor. The more climate is in the news, the better, and it makes a power-sharing parliament more likely. Tasmania and South Australia both saw the Greens vote rise, even as independents gained votes and seats. And aside from the Liberal-Green seat of Kooyong, where an independent and the Greens are queuing up to unseat Josh Frydenberg, there isn't any seat around the country where the Greens and the independents are competing.
Yeah, Bandt, who openly says he wants to wield the balance of power in a Labor government, either in the House or definitely in the Senate, he welcomes the so-called voices of independents and works with them, not against them. The fake independents are just the Greens of the wealthy suburbs. They are Greens who drive Range Rovers and Aston Martins. They should be called the British Racing Greens. And they call themselves the voices of. Voices of Simon Holmes at court? They are voices of the Green Left. They are working to install a Labor-Greens government, and they don't even have enough respect for voters to level with them.